Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you something that I get a lot of requests for, and this is what my volume profile settings are on TradingView. So specifically, I'm going to be talking about my session or lower time frame volume profiles that I use to trade futures markets, specifically from the CME, the ES or the SP500, and the NQ or NASDAQ. Okay, so I'm going to show you exactly how I have my TradingView setup, which is this one that you see right here. I use this whenever I'm trading either a live account through someone like TradingView, for example, or if you're using trader funding accounts as well, like I've been using Apex or my funded futures that I've been trying out. All those companies work through TradingView, and you can connect it to TradingView as well. So just a lot of different options you have, but it is possible to day trade futures in TradingView, even though it is a little bit more limited than other platforms. Specifically, they don't have Delta or tick charts or footprint. They did introduce a market profile indicator. So it is getting better and better, but purely just off of price action and volume profile, I think that it is a great platform either way for this. And so I'll walk you through everything that I use over here. So first thing, even though this might sound minor, but right here, these lines, I always activate the session break, the break lines. So under settings, you can see right here, session breaks. This is going to work on any chart or market that you put on. And basically what this is going to show you, it's going to mark off a line where the start of the new day is. So here I know they look very little because I don't want to have a big, line that is bothering me on the chart. But you can change that here. You can make it into a solid line. You can make it thicker or thinner, etc. I like to just have a small dotted line in like a light gray tone, which is enough to just know where it is, but it's not really like interfering a lot with my charts. So that's the first thing I have. Then for the volume profiles themselves, I use the indicators here under technicals profiles. They have two. I don't really use the HD because the HD auto adjusts the size, and I really don't like that. So I use the basic session volume profile. But what I personally do here is I applied the indicator twice, because the thing is, if you're trading a market like Forex or crypto, you know that it's pretty much one session for the whole day. So it's a daily session. So Forex is 5 to 5 p.m. Eastern every day. Crypto is 7 to 7 p.m. Eastern every day. With futures, we're open from 6 p.m. Eastern until 5 p.m. That is the settlement on the next day. So there is 23 hours of trading in a day, but we have two main sessions. We have what we would call extended trading hours, which go from 6 p.m. Eastern to 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And then we have regular market hours, which go from 9:30 a.m. Eastern until 5 p.m. Eastern. The cash close or the stock market close happens at 4, but then there is that last hour, which has a lot less volumes, but the market is still moving and operating until the official close and settlement at 5. So you can see we have two distinct sessions. Obviously, the stock market hours, the regular hours, are the most important and significant with the highest volumes. If I put here just a volume indicator, you can obviously see down below how you have this volumes in regular trading hours. This is a 5-minute chart. and then you compare it to the volumes during the Globex hours, and it's like, pretty much no comparison. There is a little bit of volumes from 3 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., which is when Europe is open, but then obviously the bulk of the volume is going to be in the US session. So I always like to split my profiles between sessions, but by default, the settings on TradingView do not let you split it out by sessions. You can put each, but it doesn't really, see, if I put each session, pre-market, market, post-market, what it does is it just converts it into a whole 23-hour volume profile, which is not what I'm looking for. So what I do is I apply this twice, and then I customize each one to the specific hours that I want. So the first one, which is going to be this one that we have here with gray and blue, and this is just colors that I've gotten used to that I like to use, so I'll just go through all the settings here. So sessions, I select custom. I put from 6 p.m. till 9:30 a.m. And then here I select the time zone, New York. So this is Eastern time, which is the time that I use. And also on the bottom left here, you can see that I have selected New York time zone as the right here on TradingView as my default time. So going back to the settings, then volume, this doesn't really, I generally just put total. It doesn't really, between up and down and total, it's pretty much the same thing here. It doesn't really affect it. So I just have total. Valley area, I always use 68%. Row layout. Here there's two options, number of rows or ticks per row. When I'm using futures like the SP and the NASDAQ, I always just put ticks per row and I select 1. This is going to give me the maximum amount of definition on this chart. But I can change this to number of rows, and let's say I can put a high number like 1500, and you can see it pretty much looks the same. Like if I mark off this high volume nodes here, and I just change this to ticks per row 1, you can see that it's pretty much exactly the same thing. But when I'm doing futures, again, I like to have 1 ticks per row. This is a chart of the NASDAQ, by the way, 5 minutes. Then the extend point of control value area high low. By default, I have this off, but I do enable it sometimes. What this does is, as you can see, this was the extended trading hour session from Friday. And so right here, we hit this level, this value area high when we open the regular session. So the line stops. But then here, the point of control and value area low are still untouched. So if you select the extensions, they're just going to extend themselves until market comes back and touches this again, and then is going to disappear. I generally don't have it on by default just because if I zoom out, you can see that now I have like all these lines everywhere on the chart, which are sort of distracting. So in general, I will not have that enabled by default, but I do come back to it sometimes if I want to have more reference. Now, under style, I obviously select volume profile. Then width of percentage box, I generally have it at 50%. This just means how far out the profile is going to extend. So in this case, it is 50% from the entire extended trading hour session, which for me is a good enough amount. Placement, I always have it on the left because the right is just looks very awkward over there. Up, down volume, this In general, like I said, I am used to using light blue to represent the up-down volumes here, and then the valley area, I like to use a dark gray. So what this means is that this dark gray area, this represents 68% of the volume. So this is the valley area. And then valley area, high, low point of control. I have this enabled. You can see here, you can take them off, but I always have those on as well, just to have as references. I do not use the development point of control or valley area myself. This is just going to show you how the point of control has been moving in the valley area throughout the session as volumes and trades come in. Histogram box, I always have it at 0, but this is basically if you want to add a background, which I don't like to do. And then labels, values, I have it on, but I don't really use this. And then visibility, since this is a low time frame, I only have it enabled in the seconds and minutes. I do that because if I have it in the hours, for example, and I go to an hourly chart, then you can see, you know, this sort of looks very messy for me. So I don't really like to have that on the hourly chart. Of course, I'm going to use high time frame volume profiles on the hourly, the daily, and I'm going to have my high time frame levels, but that's, you know, that's a different video. Right now, I'm only talking about my day trading settings for the lower time frames. So that is the extended hours profile. The settings for the regular trading hours are exactly the same in terms of visibility, seconds, minutes. The style, I do everything the same except I do the up-down volume here pretty much outside of the 68% of valley area. I like to use a light gray. And then the valley area high-low point of control, I like to use an orange color. Obviously, you can vary the line thickness, colors, and the type of line, whatever you want to do. But this is what I use. And then under inputs, I have same thing, ticks per row, 1, valley area 68, volume total. But on the times, I have it from 9:30 a.m. Eastern New York time to 5 p.m. Okay? And that's pretty much the volume profile settings. One thing I always use as well is the VWAP indicator, the volume weighted average price. I have videos on this on my channel if you want to check it out. But basically, this is like a moving average, but it's taken into account not just time and price, but also traded volumes. So it's a very good momentum indicator for the sessions. Most trading platforms like Sierra Chart give you the option to put a VWAP for each individual session profile. TradingView doesn't yet have that. So what I do is I just manually put it on. So I just come here into the drawings on the left, and I select anchored VWAP. And every time the session starts, I just anchor it to the first candle. So like right here, 6 p.m., I anchor it. But you can see that this is a rolling VWAP. So it's just wherever you anchor it is going to go all the way to the present. And, you know, obviously, once this session is over, I don't want to keep using this anchor here. So then every new session, when it starts, I just grab it, I drag it to the first candle at 9:30, and now I have my session VWAP, and obviously this starts over here and is going to keep developing and moving as the session progresses. But that's pretty much the exact settings that I use. If I go into the ES, you can see it's the same thing. The profiles on the ES are going to look a little bit lighter because the price scale is smaller on the ES. So that means we have less ticks. And so the color definition of the rows is not going to be as predominant as in the NASDAQ. So what you can do in that case, what I like to do is I just go and I select a darker shade right over here. So by just selecting a darker shade, now you can have more definition here. I can just come and select this one's here and this one's here. And you can see how now it looks a little bit more. If I go back to NASDAQ, you can see that now it looks super dark because the NASDAQ has a lot more ticks per row. So you don't really need, you know, such an intense color on the NASDAQ. But anyway, I mean, that's just like a little personal preference. In reality, the only two things that affect your colors here are going to be this ones, because I'm just using total volumes right here. Since we're using total, in reality it's just the up volume, barrel area up. These are the only ones that are going to change. But that's pretty much the exact settings that I use in my own day trading if I am using the TradingView platform. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.